My name is Denise Compton. I'm a neuropsychologist at the Thomas & Line Longevity Clinic here at the Reynolds Institute on Aging. And what we're doing right now is reviewing the fundamental attitudes that Jon Kabat-Zinn, the developer of mindfulness meditation, has recommended that we bring to the practice of meditation. So we're going to talk about one of those attitudes, and then we'll do our practice shortly thereafter. And the attitude that we're talking about today is patience. We bring an attitude of patience, which can be a challenge for us in our kind of busy, goal-oriented culture. We want everything to happen right now. And in fact, impatience is described as discontent with the way things are now. So we're kind of in a hurry for things to change. Those who were with us in the last session, we were talking about the attitude of acceptance, sort of acknowledging and accepting whatever is present in this moment. That doesn't necessarily mean we like it, but we acknowledge that it is the reality of the present moment. The other reality we know is that things will change. They always do, right? And so patience is that attitude of knowing that things will change and allowing them to unfold in their own time. So there's kind of a famous saying, you can't push the river. And that kind of goes along with this attitude. There's some things we have to just allow to unfold as they naturally will. But one of the things that happens is that we can be very impatient with our meditation practice in particular. So we may think, well, this is just not working the way I wanted it to, or it's not working as fast as I thought it would, or I can't do it right, or it's not meeting my expectations. So we can bring that same impatience to our practice unless we're pretty mindful about that, of kind of noticing that when it happens and then attempting to kind of let those sort of thoughts go and let our practice develop in a sort of naturally unfolding way. So one of the metaphors that we use to think of meditation practice is that we are tilling the soil of our minds. I love that metaphor. We're tilling the soil of our own minds and cultivating within ourselves a place of stillness and openness into which new things can emerge and grow over time. So there's a lovely quote from the Tao Te Ching that I'm going to read to you if I can find it. Okay. Do you have the patience to wait till your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself? So, if we are cultivating that place of openness and stillness into which new things that can emerge and grow, among the things that might emerge and grow are wisdom, compassion, peacefulness, and right action. Kind of waiting until it kind of comes to you. What will be the right thing to do under particular circumstances? Having that patience to wait. So the particular form of meditation that I'm going to recommend today, I think really goes along nicely with this attitude of patience. And it is a sound meditation. Okay, meditation on sound. So our basic definition of what mindfulness meditation is on the board here. And so we talk about having an anchor that we use to focus our attention on as we meditate. And so today I'm going to recommend that you use sound as that anchor, the thing to which you're going to pay attention. All right? And I'm going to read a short passage now from Jon Kabat-Zinn's book, Coming to Our Senses, about sound meditation in particular. So he starts this by sharing an experiment that he's doing himself. And it goes like this. Heavy early morning, mid-November rain is hitting the roof in the darkness above my head. Every moment there is a sound of it. Can I hear it? Beyond my thoughts about the rain, even for one moment. Can I receive these sounds as they are, with no concepts whatsoever, including the concept of sound? I notice that hearing happens effortlessly. I don't have to do anything. There's nothing to do. In fact, in order to really hear, I have to get out of the way. So here's my experiment. Is it actually possible to get out of my own way and just let there be hearing? To let the sounds come to the ear, be in the ear, in the air, in the moment, without any embellishment, without any trying. Just hearing what is here to be heard. This rain, this morning, is so forceful, so compelling, so absorbing, that attention sustains itself effortlessly. The experiencing of sound has, in this moment, trumped the conceptual mind. This is not always or even usually the case. It is so easy to be carried away into thinking. It is so easy to distract myself, to be carried so far away from the ears that I don't even hear the rain anymore, no matter how forceful. Even though the body and the ears are still just as bathed in its sounds as the moment before, when there was only just this. So, an elemental challenge of mindfulness is to rest in the awareness of hearing, hearing only what is here, moment by moment by moment. Sounds arising, passing, silence inside and underneath the sounds, beyond interpreting the momentary experience as either pleasant or unpleasant or neutral, beyond all identifiers and judgments, beyond all thoughts about anything, just giving myself over to sitting and hearing. And one of the ways that I think that sound and hearing is a nice complement to the idea of patience is that allowing something to unfold moment by moment by moment. So we're not going to make it happen faster or slower. We just listen to whatever presents itself. So there are many different ways to do hearing or sound meditations. You can choose a particular thing. Lovely ones are listening to waves at the beach if you happen to be at the beach, or birds singing in the early morning, or frogs and crickets late at night, or just sitting in your bedroom when everything else is quiet in the house and just listening to whatever sounds might be present in your house that maybe you never even notice most of the time. Another one, which is the one we're going to do now, is a musical meditation. So I'm going to bring up some music for us to listen to. And what I have is about close to 15 minutes of a Gregorian chant. So you will not, unless you happen to know Latin, you probably won't be able to understand the words. And that's on purpose because we want to avoid, in the context of meditation, thinking about the words, the meaning of the lyrics. We're really just simply listening to the sounds as they rise and as they fall. And see if you can make that the focus of your attention. Okay, so when your thoughts wander off here and there and everywhere, just sort of notice that with interest and curiosity, and see then if you can pull your attention back to just focus on just listening. Okay? So before I begin the music, let's go ahead and assume our meditation posture. So that's going to be sitting with both feet flat on the floor. Your spine is erect, but not tense. Face just pointing straight forward, not slumped over in your chair. You will have your hands in your lap, most often with the palms facing upward, either resting on your thighs or cupped in front of you. If that's not comfortable, adjust so that it is. And then typically it's best, if you're comfortable, to close your eyes. If you're not comfortable closing your eyes, then just find a boring spot on the floor or the wall to focus your attention so it won't be distracting. So go ahead and assume that posture. While I'm pulling up the music, you might just focus a few minutes on your breathing. Just notice your breathing. Okay, so let's make sure everyone is awake. Okay, everybody's rousing. So, sorry for that kind of rather abrupt skip there in the music. I'm not sure what happened there. But, as I always say, whatever kind of happens that sort of distracts us in meditation is just an opportunity to practice, refocusing ourselves. And luckily the music came back on. I was happy about that at least. So, we'll now just take a minute or two to debrief. If anybody has any questions about this particular form of meditation, this exercise, or meditation in general, comments, questions. Everybody usually learns when somebody raises something, so please feel free. Yes? The birds distracted you? So it reminded you of a previous experience with this sort of music. And that might happen for a few people. And hopefully that's a pleasant association, although not necessarily so. Yes. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to repeat what you've said so others can hear it. So she is saying that she's had experience with similar sorts of music in cathedrals in Europe. And so it immediately called to mind those memories. And interestingly enough, our brains work this way. Our memories are also associated with feelings that accompany those memories. And so for you, that was a sound like very peaceful, relaxing experience that you kind of almost could immediately then access. And so that does happen as we, develop these practices that enable us to access kind of a peaceful, still state. Then certain kinds of things that bring that to mind will almost immediately or very quickly kind of transport us to that place. So just by association, can be a really nice thing to have happen. One of the things that can happen is when something like a particular piece of music or a particular smell or anything calls a memory to mind, sometimes the thinking mind wants to kind of take over and think about all the things that happened there or were said and done there, whatever. And sometimes can make it harder to just focus on the anchor, in this case, just focus on the listening to the music. So sometimes the thoughts come rushing in with the memories, and that's just something to kind of be aware of. Did that happen to anybody? Yeah. Okay, a few of you. Okay. So in that circumstance, then, were you kind of working with yourself to try to refocus on just listening? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. All right. So it proved to be a useful thing in a way. Okay. All right. Anything else? All right. Well, we'll say we are actually right at the end of our time. So pleasure being with you all as always.